everyone, my name is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are here for the first day of the historical romance readathon. This is one of my favorite readathons to do. I am so excited because I've just been in the mood to read all of the historical romances lately, and this week in particular I want to read all of the Christmas themed historical romances because I actually haven't read that many. But today has been quite a day, and my first read was a bit of a fail. So I actually wanted to dive into the group book for the readathon, which is Lady Sophie's Christmas Wish by Grace Burrows. I had never read from this author before, but the plot did seem really cute. It's basically like a snowed-in romance where we have Lady Sophie. She winds up having to take care of this baby. Basically, I think, from what I understand, it's like one of her maid's babies, and the maid just like up and leaves. So she's stuck taking care of this baby. Then our hero Vim just so happens to be there when Lady Sophie is deserted by this baby's mother. And so he offers to help her take care of the baby. He seems to know what he's talking about in terms of that. And so they end up being snowed in at her family's estate. She's a duke's daughter. I DNF'd this at the 42% mark. Oof, I hate DNFing books. I really do. And by DNF, I mean did not finish. I am still getting used to the idea of allowing myself to put a book down when I'm not enjoying it and to pick something else up. But my brain fixates on the idea that I haven't finished something. I don't like leaving things unfinished. And so like, I hate that I DNF'd this, but I was so bored because this book is all about Vim and Sophie just taking care of this random ass baby. I enjoy kids and romance novels, but not just babies. Like, I need them to be children, like older children that actually have personalities. Babies are not entertaining to me at all. Like, I just don't care. Now, if there were animals involved, I would care more. But babies, I just don't care. I really don't. And also, we were getting quite a few scenes where we were getting side characters POVs, like, Sophie has a lot of siblings, and so we'd get the POV of some of her brothers that are kind of worried about her, that she snowed in at the family estate, and they're getting ready to go fetch her before Christmas. And I didn't care about them at all. I feel like because this is a part of a series, I think this is like book 4 of a series, you kind of need to read the previous books before jumping into this one to care about the side characters, because anytime their POVs popped up, I did find myself zoning out, and these characters weren't doing or saying anything all that important. So yeah, it was fine. And you know that I am bored as hell when a sexy scene is about to happen, and that's when I DNF'd it. Like, that's when you know that I'm really not enjoying a book, when I just don't care when a steamy scene is happening. But I decided to go ahead and jump into Kissing Under the Mistletoe. This is an anthology of 3 novellas by Suzanne Enoch. I think that's how the audiobook narrator pronounced her name. Is it Enoch or Enoch? I don't know. Amelia Gray and Anna Bennett. So I read the first novella, which is called Great Scott. Now, this is technically a novella that is part of her Wild Wicked Highlanders series. I have not read that series. I haven't read anything by Suzanne Enoch or whatever. But you definitely don't have to have read any of the previous books. I mean, this novella just alludes to characters from previous books, of course. And so this is about Jane. She is a lady's companion. I love historical romances where the heroine is a lady's companion. So basically, she's in the Scottish Highlands for Christmas. She is a cousin of this family that has married into a Scottish family. And like I said, she's also a lady's companion to this woman who's a countess that is a part of the family. And she's 33. That's one of the things I really liked about this story, was that both main characters were in their 30s. And so given that she's 33, she is considered to be a spinster during this time. I think this takes place around the Regency era. It doesn't explicitly say, but I'm just going to guess that that is the era. And so she just feels kind of stuck in her life, stuck in this job as a ladies' companion. She doesn't really know what else to do with her life. So then we have Brennan, our hero. He is a cousin of the Scottish family that is hosting Jane's family for Christmas. And he's an architect, and it's really cute how they meet, because basically he is designing a house for one of Jane's relatives. And they start bonding over the fact that in Jane's dream home, she would love to have this beautiful grand library. I mean, wouldn't we all love that? And it's just really sweet because Brennan is a widower. He's also a scarred hero. Basically, some years back, he got into an accident on a horse that left one of his eyes severely injured, and so he wears an eye patch, which we love heroes that wear eye patches. And he's just like a really sweet guy, and this is just a really cute romance between the two of them. It's a bit insta-lovey, but for the most part, I thought that the pacing and the development of their romance was actually really well done, given that this is only like a 90-ish page novella. I just had a really good time, and I loved the vibe of being in the Scottish Highlands for Christmas. I think that's gonna be it for this update. I'm actually in my office right now because I am uploading a really long, week-long reading vlog. So I'll link that either up in the cards or down in the description if you're interested in seeing that video. It's just a very chaotic vlog where I was moving into this new place where I am now and reading some books. So yeah, with all that being said, I will talk to you guys at some point tomorrow. All right, hey everybody, happy Tuesday. It's pretty late, it's almost 11 p.m. Tuesdays are kind of crazy for me because of work commitments. And so yeah, I had a feeling that I wasn't gonna be able to update this vlog until late, but most of my week is much more open, so I will hopefully be able to get more footage in the next few days, maybe some b-roll footage of me doing things around the house or something. I have no idea, we will just have to see. But reading update, I did finish Kissing Under the Mistletoe by Suzanne Enoch, Amelia Gray, and Anna Bennett. I actually had a really fun time reading this novella bind-up because I was buddy reading it with my friend Tori from A Novel Life. I will link her channel down in the description below. And I did not go into this with very high expectations, and I think that's mainly because I haven't really heard that much about any of these authors. I've never read anything by them before, but I have to say that I really enjoyed all three stories. Suzanne Enoch's I gave 4 stars. Let me give you guys a brief synopsis of the other 2 short stories. So the one by Amelia Gray is Christmas at Dewberry Hollow. This is about Isabel and Gate. So Isabel basically runs this country inn called Dewberry Hollow with her mother. And so Gate comes to visit with his grandfather, who is a duke. Because when his grandfather was much younger, he carved the initials of himself and his wife into a tree. So basically his grandfather, the duke, really wants to find this carving so that I think he wants to like tie a ribbon around the tree to kind of commemorate it now that his wife has passed away. And so Gate is making it his mission to find this tree for his grandfather. And so yeah, this was really cute. Had like very like cozy inn vibes. This was probably my least favorite story of the 3. I probably would give it 3.5 stars, but I did still enjoy it. And then Anna Bennett's story, this was so good. This is called My Mistletoe Beau. We have Eva and we have Jack. We have a fake dating situation. We love that. So basically, Jack won this really nice watch from Eva's father from like gambling, like from a wager. And so Eva is trying to get that watch back to give to her father for Christmas. And Jack lied to his grandmother and told her that he is in love with a woman, I think to just kind of get her off of his back about meeting someone and getting married. And so they both have reasons to go into this fake dating situation. Basically, Jack just wants to convince his grandmother that he really is courting somebody. And then Jack told Eva that he will only give her the watch back if she agrees to fake date him. And so basically the fake dating turns into real feelings, which is what we love about fake dating. So good. I just loved like the cozy Christmas vibes that I got from all these stories, but they were all cozy in different ways, because with Suzanne Enoch's, like, that is taking place in the Scottish Highlands. Like I said, Amelia Gray's is taking place at this country inn, and then Anna Bennett's is taking place, well, both in London, but also at a country estate, and there's like balls and parties going on. I will say that in all three novellas, there's quite a bit of insta love going on, but for some reason I didn't really mind that all that much. Like, I don't know, with novellas, I tend to forgive them when they become insta-lovey because there's less pages to work with. And like I said, this just gave me amazing, like, cozy Christmas historical romance vibes. That's what I look for with these kind of novella bind-ups. So overall, I would give this bind-up 4 stars. So just to give you a quick breakdown, I gave Suzanne Enoch's story 4 stars, Amelia Gray's story probably 3.5 stars, and Anna Bennett's story 4, maybe 4.5 stars. I really had a great time with that one. I don't really know what I want to jump into next because I'm not planning on immediately starting something else at the moment. I'm actually dying to dive back into the Princess Switch 3. I think the title is like Romancing the Star or something. So since I set up my new TV at this house, I have been binging cheesy Netflix Christmas movies. And so I watched the first 2 Princess Switch movies within like a day or 2 or something like that. And so I'm in the middle of watching the 3rd one. I could only watch like the first like 45 minutes of it between last night and earlier this morning. So I kind of want to finish it tonight, but I also want to start something else for this readathon before I go to bed. So we'll just see what I can get done. You know, I fully recognize that these are not high quality movies or anything like that, but that's not what I signed up for anyway. That's not what I'm here for. This movie is probably the most ridiculous out of the 3 Princess Switch movies because, like, we dealt with this in the 2nd movie quite a bit, but in this 3rd movie, there are 3 characters, all played by Vanessa Hudgens, that are all pretty equally featured in this movie. And so it's just bonkers. It's crazy. There's also this like heist plot going on. Like, who knows what's happening with this movie, but I'm just having a grand old time. So I'm probably gonna get myself a bowl of ice cream and sit down and maybe watch the rest of it and then maybe start something else. I don't know if I want to start a novella or if I want to start a full novel. I don't know. I don't know what I'm in the mood for. So I'll talk to you guys at some point tomorrow. It's Wednesday, my dudes. I am low-key proud of myself because I'm actually updating this vlog way earlier in the day than usual. It is only 4:40 p.m. In last week's vlog and so far in this vlog, I have been doing really late night updates and it's just been low-key annoying me. So yeah, I've gotten a decent amount of reading done. So I read the entirety of Her Virgin Duke by Nicola Davidson. This is one of 2 novellas by Nicola Davidson that I am hoping to read. If not this week, definitely this month. The other one is Mistletoe Mistress. That one's definitely a more popular novella. This one, I am so mad at y'all because this only has 87 ratings on Goodreads. Why are so many of y'all sleeping on Nicola Davidson's amazing erotic historical romance novellas? What is wrong with you? I'm kidding, I'm not really mad at you, but maybe just a little bit. Oh my God, this was so good. I knew that I was going to adore this the second that I read the synopsis. Also, I've read 3 novellas. Yeah, 3 novellas by Nicola Davidson in the past, her entire Fallen series. Loved all 3 of those, so I knew that I was going to have a good time with this one. And this is about Bennett. He is a duke. He's known as Humdrum Tun. He's the Duke of Tunbury. He's just this very sweet and shy guy, also very like socially awkward. And when he was 15, his father passed away, and so he inherited the dukedom way too young. And so I guess in his father's will, he appointed these 3 old-ass men to be Bennett's trustees. So basically these men controlled at least like the finances of the dukedom until Bennett reached the age of 25. And so for that entire decade, they basically bullied Bennett into being a proper duke. He really couldn't do anything for himself. He had to follow their strict rules, otherwise they wouldn't really give him like his allowance or anything like that. So while these men taught him how to manage his estate financially, they were horrible to him in all of the other aspects of his life. So now he's 25, he has finally gained full control of this dukedom, and so he's trying to find his own way in life. And because he's a duke, he is also trying to get married, because that's what dukes do. They need to provide an heir for the dukedom, for the estate. And so then we have Delilah, our heroine. She is known as the Mistress of Sin. She is the owner of this pleasure club. And what's really cool about this club is that it's not just a sex club. Like one side of it is a gambling hell. There's also like a buffet, like supper club. And then the other side is the pleasure club. And while there's everything that you would expect from this kind of club, she also invites experts in like sex education to come in and give lectures, and she offers to give like private lessons to like individuals or couples who want more experience or want to explore their fantasies or their kinks in a non-judgmental environment. Or some of them kind of come to her for like sexual therapy if maybe trauma in their past has led them to not be able to enjoy themselves. Does that make sense? And basically Delilah and Bennett meet because Bennett loses a wager or something to his friend Fletcher. They're not really friends because Fletcher is an asshole to him. He's just terrible. And so Fletcher kind of dares Bennett to go check out this pleasure club for him because he's thinking of trying to become a member himself. So Bennett goes to the club, is immediately attracted to Delilah and vice versa. And things quickly become steamy between the two of them because Delilah kind of quickly figures out that he's definitely inexperienced, he's a virgin, and she decides that she wants to teach him some things. And this is one of those situations where this seemingly very straight-laced man turns dominant in the bedroom and talks dirty, and it's just a really fun time. And Nicola Davidson, y'all, she always brings the steam. If you are looking for steamy historical romances, look no further than Nicola Davidson. So as sexy as this book is, it's also just a really sweet and swoony romance. I mean, there's a lot of angst, of course. So good. Had to give this 5 stars. I don't think it's quite my favorite Nicola Davidson novella. I think that's still The Devil's Submission, which is book 2 in her Fallen series, because that's a marriage in trouble romance where our heroine is a dom and our hero is a sub. So amazing. But this one is really great as well. And of course it has those cozy Christmas romance vibes and wintry vibes as well. So I'm really glad that I read this. And I thought that the pacing of the romance was really great as well. Like So much happened in just about like 115 or 120 pages, especially in terms of like both of their character development and their romance and the steam. Like everything was there, but it somehow worked in a novella length. So highly, highly recommend this. I cannot wait to read even more from Nicola Davidson's backlist. Then in terms of what I'm going to read next, I actually have quite a bit of work to get done today. I need to go send out an email for one of my classes, and I also need to get quite a bit of editing done. I want to edit a video that I want to post tomorrow, which is going to be my top 5 reads of November. And then I also want to get a head start on editing clips for this vlog. So after I get all of that done, it'll probably be dinner time, so I'll eat dinner. And then I really think I want to jump into Miracle on Ladies Mile by Joanna Shupe. This is a novella that is about like a department store owner. I believe he is a widower and he has a young daughter. I believe she's like 9 or 10 years old. And the premise just sounded really adorable. I adore Joanna Shupe, and Jess recently read this. I think she read this yesterday and she gave it 5 stars. So I think I'm gonna love it. This is also a novella. I think it's just about like 120 pages. So I will definitely talk to you guys later. All right, hey guys, I'm actually getting ready to film a couple of videos. Today is Thursday. I need to film a video about the 25 books that I want to read in 2022. Basically, I've decided that at the end of each year, I just want to compile a list of books that I physically own on my bookshelves, that I have had on my shelves for well over a year that I just really need to get to ASAP. So that's what that video is going to be about. And then I also am going to film my most anticipated book releases for the first quarter of 2022. So that is going to be January through March. So I'm about to film those videos, but first I thought we could do a reading update. I am still messing with the lighting. This might be a little bit too bright, but I noticed in my last couple of videos that the lighting wasn't quite bright enough. So yeah, but yesterday after finishing Her Virgin Duke, I went into Miracle on Ladies Mile by Joanna Shupe, and I read the entirety of that. It was just about like 120 pages, and this is set in Gilded Age New York City. That is the usual setting that Joanna Shupe writes in, and I think she always does a fantastic job of that. And the premise of this was really cute. It actually gave me vibes of Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey, which if you guys have watched my recent videos, you would know that that is a recent favorite of mine. So we have Grace, our heroine, she's 19, and then we have Alex, who is a co-owner of this department store, Mac and Arms, and he's 30, so it's a bit of an age gap. And so Grace is a window dresser for this department store, so that's why it gives me vibes of Window Shopping. So basically Alex sees Grace working on these windows all by herself, and so he decides to help her, and he also decides not to reveal that he's a co-owner of the store, so she just believes him to be somebody else who works at the department store. And things get kind of complicated because Alex is actually a widower. His wife passed away 7 years ago, and now he has been left with his daughter Sarah, who is now 10. I gave this 4 stars. I did overall enjoy it. I liked this age gap romance, and there's plenty of angst to go around. You know, for it being a novella, I thought that the romance was paced really well. There are things that I didn't like so much about this book that I feel very conflicted about. One, I think that this definitely could have benefited from being a full-length novel, because where this novella ends is really at the beginning of their relationship, so that kind of sucks. And then Alex's character frustrated me quite a bit. I really liked Grace's character. Like I said, she's 19. She has moved, I want to say, from Pennsylvania or Connecticut, I can't quite remember, and she's just trying to make her own way in New York, and she wants to eventually design gowns for women. But then Alex, okay, like I've already established, his wife passed away 7 years ago. And during this whole time, he has been straight up a shitty father to Sarah, his daughter. Now I can understand in the first few months after his wife's passing, you know, the shock and the grief and all of that, and maybe him not being the best father because of that. And his reason for neglecting her is because she looks just like his late wife. And I'm just like, okay, but you've been doing this for 7 years. In 7 years, you're telling me that it did not occur to you that maybe you should be a better father to your child, and maybe that your child is the last part of your wife that is still around, and maybe that's another reason that you should actually be good to her. Like, I don't know. His character frustrated me and confused me, and he was such a shitty father for at least like 80% of this novella. And then finally, like, Grace stands up to him, calls him out on his bullshit, and then he does start bonding with his daughter by the end. But I'm just like, girl, it just, for me, it felt like a little too late. And then at the end, the only reason why they got back together is because Sarah basically meddled in their business. And I'm like, girl, like, Alex should have done a grand gesture at the end. But I did overall really enjoy it. I mean, it is Joanna Shupe. I love Joanna Shupe. So I did settle on giving this 4 stars. So then today I decided to go into My American Duchess by Eloisa James. This is a book that has been on my radar for quite some time. I actually featured this in my recent 5-star predictions video. I'll link that up in the cards in case you are interested. This is also the December book pick for the Rake Appreciation Society book club that is run by Jen from the Book Refuge and Crystal from Crystal's Bookish Life. This is actually going to be my first full-length Eloisa James novel. I read a novella by her called My Last Duchess. I liked it, but I didn't love it. I probably should have read that after reading the rest of the Wilds of Lindo Castle series, but that's neither here nor there. We are here to talk about this book, which is a complete standalone. And ooh, this is so good so far. I am on page 194. That's chapter 17. That is just about halfway through. And this is a pretty chunky historical romance. It's 400 pages and the font is really tiny. So this is a pretty dense book. I do have the audiobook, so I've been listening to that while following along with the physical version at the same time. So we have Mary, spelled M-E-R-R-Y. So it's a little bit of a Christmas romance in that way, in her name. She's been engaged twice and she broke off both of those engagements for very different reasons. Now she's engaged for the 3rd time to this guy, Cedric. She came over from the US. That's why it's called My American Duchess. She's come over from the US to try to find a husband in England. She's also an heiress. So she gets engaged to this guy, Cedric. So her 3rd engagement, and she slowly starts to realize that this man may not be the man for her. And at the same time, she's falling for Trent, or the Duke of Trent, who is Cedric's twin brother. So angst and forbidden romance. We love to see all of that in a historical romance, and I'm just having a really good time with this one. It's fun to see Trent and Mary interact and see them slowly falling for each other, even though they definitely shouldn't be. And it's also interesting to see Mary interact with London society, because obviously that's a very different type of society than the US. And there's also like a Grump Sunshine dynamic going on, I guess you could say, because Trent can be pretty grumpy and Mary is just so quirky and she's really funny to me. So I'm just having a really, really good time with this one. I'll definitely finish it tonight. I mean, this is on track to be a 5-star read for me, though we are at the halfway point and the romance between Trent and Mary hasn't really started yet because we're still dealing with the whole Cedric situation. So I'm very interested to see how all of that progresses throughout the novel. So that's gonna be it for now. I don't really know what I wanna read after I finish that tonight, but I'll definitely let you guys know tomorrow. Right. Happy Friday, everybody. I have quite the update because I finished 2 things since I last spoke with you. I'm actually getting ready to go back to my parents' house for the night because I have work early tomorrow morning right near my parents' house, and so that makes my life easier to just sleep there. But also we are going to see Elf the musical, which is a musical adaptation of the movie that we all know and love. I'm excited to see this show tonight, but it also makes me kind of sad because I was actually originally cast in this production, but I ultimately turned it down because there was a production of Cinderella the musical that was going to go on at about the same time, but that production ended up getting postponed until the spring. So ultimately I could have been in this show. It makes me sad. I mean, it's fine, it's not fine, but it is. I mean, it wasn't going to be a paid gig anyway, and you know, I can't really afford to do performances anymore without payment. That's something that I totally used to be able to do when I was in high school and in college. So anyways, let's get back to the reading update. I did finish my American Duchess last night by Eloisa James. I think I gave this 3 stars on Goodreads, but like, honestly, it might be more of like a 2.5 stars. Oh boy. Okay, let me just start this off by saying I loved the entire first half. I think I made that very clear in my update yesterday. I love Mary's character, our heroine, and I was really enjoying Trent. But at the halfway mark, something happens and this book changes a lot between the first half and the second half. It was very weird. Basically, Eloisa James decided to like completely write out a character who was very prominent in the first half, and he was pretty much the villain of the story. She writes him out, and then the second half is just like Trent and Mary living together, and that got quite boring after a while. And then it's so weird too because you know, for the first like 3/4 of this book, we've seen how much Trent wants Mary, and he's been actively pursuing her. He definitely wants her. And we've been seeing inklings throughout the book that he doesn't really believe in romantic love. He feels that it's like a temporary thing. He doesn't view it as something that is enduring or lifelong by any means. So then like, probably like 80% through the book, she confesses that she loves him, and he just outright rejects her. He is such an asshole about it. But yeah, he was just like an asshole for so much of the second half. And by the time that he got his shit back together and like apologized to Mary, I just like didn't care. I didn't care. I felt like Mary deserved better. I loved her character so much, and it like didn't make sense to me how he was treating her, and it just like wasn't right. And I definitely was zoning out while listening to the second half of this. The first half I would probably give like 4.5 or 5 stars. I loved. And the second half, 2 stars. So I averaged it to like a 3-star rating, but like I said, I feel like this is more of a 2.5 stars. Unfortunately, this just didn't work for me, and that's okay. If you are one of the many people that love this book, good for you. I wish that I would have loved this as much as you guys do. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. I don't know if Eloisa James is for me, because I've read a novella by her and it was just fine. And then this, clearly I didn't love. So I think I'll give her one more shot, but she may not be the author for me. That being said, today, because I finished that really late last night, today I went into The Captain's Midwinter Bride by Liana de la Rosa. This is my first book by this author. It's a novella. It's a marriage in trouble, historical romance. We love to see it. This has been on my radar for like over a year at this point. So I'm so glad that I finally read it for this readathon. And so this is about Annalise and Philip. They've been married for over 20 years, I would say, or maybe just about 20 years. He is a captain in the Queen's Navy. He's been away most of their marriage doing his job. So she's been left on her own, essentially raising their 2 children. So he's now back because he is now retired from the Navy, and his daughter Beth is about to get married. So they're getting ready for that. They're planning on having like a Christmas Day wedding. And this was so freaking sweet and cute, and just like, it was like wholesome, but also just the right amount of sexy, because we do get some steam in this. It was so freaking good. Like, I loved seeing Annalise and Philip come back together as a couple, but also as like amazing parents. They are such a great team together. I loved seeing them parent, mainly Beth. We don't really see Oliver, their son, much in this, but it's just really cool to see them like giving her advice and giving her guidance, because basically she comes to realize that she's not sure she wants to marry this guy. And so they help her out with that. And it's so great. And it's just so sweet to see them come back together as lovers as well. marriage and trouble stories are the best, especially in the historical romance setting. So I gave this 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend it, especially if you're looking to fulfill the marriage and trouble prompt on the bingo board for this readathon. It was really, really good. It's just about 100 pages and I think that you would really enjoy it. So that is going to be it for this update. I have to get ready and pack up to go back to my parents' house ASAP. So I will talk to you guys at some point tomorrow. All right. Hey guys, happy Saturday. It is just about 9:15 p.m. Saturdays are kind of long days for me because I have to wake up early to teach a dance class at the studio that I work at. So I think I'm gonna do my reading update first, and then I actually have 2 packages that I want to unbox on camera. One of them is just my book of the month box, and then one of them is a really exciting package that a friend sent me. So we'll get into that in a minute. So I decided to start my first reread of How the Dukes Stole Christmas. So this is an anthology of novellas by Tessa Dare, Sarah McLean, Sophie Jordan, and Joanna Shupe. When I read this back in 2019, which coincidentally, I read this for a reading blog back in 2019. It was for like Tis the Season-a-thon. So I'll link that up in the cards above if you're interested. That was the year that I went to Disney World. And so I was like daily vlogging. It was such a fun time. I love to go back and watch those vlogs. But anyways, reading this anthology was how I actually discovered Sophie Jordan and Joanna Shupe. And they are 2 of my favorite historical romance authors now. And I gave this 4.5 stars upon reread. It's interesting. The first time that I read this, I gave it 3.5 stars. I actually didn't really love Joanna Shupe's or Sarah McLean's stories the first time that I read them, but upon reread, I really loved both of them. I think Sophie Jordan's is still my absolute favorite. What's interesting about this anthology is that all of the stories are based on really popular Christmas movies. So Tessa Dare's is Meet Me in Mayfair, which is based off of Meet Me in St. Louis. Sarah McLean's story is The Duke of Christmas Present. As you can guess, it's based off of A Christmas Carol. Heiress Alone by Sophie Jordan, that's based off of Home Alone. And then Christmas in Central Park by Joanna Shupe is based off of this movie called Christmas in Connecticut, which I had not heard of before, but it's a movie from 1945. I might have to check it out. Yeah, so it was so fun rereading this. It's funny too, because when I reread books, it just reminds me of how forgetful I tend to be sometimes with reading. Like, this almost felt like I was reading this for the first time. That's how much I had forgotten from my first time reading it. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. This was amazing. I'm also so happy that I own a physical copy now because it's actually signed by Tessa Dare. It just says, "For Rachel, happiest holidays." Because I got this copy from the Ripped Bodice, which is an indie romance bookstore in LA. And Tessa Dare, I guess she lives around there, and so periodically she comes in and will sign copies. So yeah, that's really cool. I would recommend getting signed copies from the Ripped Bodice if that interests you, because there's a few other authors that I assume live around there and will come in and sign books, which is fun. So let's get to the fun part. Okay, so I have my book of the month box, not sponsored. I wish I was, because I could use the extra income, but it is what it is. I don't think I'm a big enough booktuber yet to to be sponsored by them, but okay. The first book that I got is The Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox. This was one of their monthly picks for December. So I love this cover. This totally reminds me of The Princess Switch, which you guys know I binged those movies a few days ago. But it's about 2 twins. I'll just read the synopsis. It says, when chef Charlie Goodwin gets hit on the head on the LA set of her reality baking show, she loses her critical ability to taste and smell. Meanwhile, Charlie's identical twin, Cass, is frantically trying to hold her own life together back in their quaint mountain hometown while running the family's bakery and dealing with the breakup that just won't end. And so yeah, it sounds like they end up switching lives and falling in love with some guys along the way, and that just sounds absolutely adorable. I love this cover. And then the second book that I got, what's really cool about book of the month is that for your birth month, my birthday is December 14th, which coincidentally is the day that I'm posting this vlog, so happy birthday to me. For your birth month, you get a free add-on book. So for my free add-on, I decided to go with The Push by Ashley O'Drain. I hope that's how you pronounce the author's name. I'm not really sure. The cover's really cool. This sounds really intriguing. This is a 2021 new release, and this is a thriller about this woman, Blythe. Let's see. She's determined that she will be the warm, comforting mother to her new baby, Violet, that she herself never had. But in the thick of motherhood's exhausting early days, Blythe becomes convinced that something is wrong with her daughter. She doesn't behave like most children do. I love thrillers that focus on like bad kids or evil kids. What does that say about me? I don't know. But I like love that idea. I've seen that this has gotten really great reviews. Oh, and then I did get a little bookmark. You always get a bookmark with Book of the Month, and it says, if you wish upon a star, you might read your TBR. Well, I feel attacked, like, because recently I have been very much a mood reader. I have not been sticking to my monthly TBRs, so wow, Book of the Month, I see you. But the next package, you guys, oh my God, I'm probably gonna cry while opening this. It is what it is. So my amazing bookish friend, Samantha from Books with Samantha, if you don't go follow her, I'm not happy with you, because I love her videos. She's been posting a video every day in December. She's been doing Vlogmas. I am so behind on watching those videos, but I adore Samantha. She also co-runs the Historical Hellions book club with Jess from Peace Love Books. But yeah, she basically sent out Christmas packages to some friends, and I was very lucky to be one of those people that received one, and I do not know what's in this box yet. It was covered with tissue paper, which I love, because girl, we love a surprise. And oh my God, let's see what's in here. Okay, oh my God, wait, we've got so many things. Oh my God, Samantha, like, you are spoiling me. Oh my God, just to show you like a brief glimpse of what is in this box, like, what? Oh my goodness, wait, I have to read this card first. Oh, thank you for the card, Samantha, that's so sweet. Okay, now let's see what all is in here. Girl, you are after my own heart. She has given me an eyeshadow palette. This is from Revolution. I think I have a palette from them. It's not this one at all, but oh, that's pretty. It's got like roses on it. Girl, you are spoiling me. Okay, let's open this up. Ooh, this is pretty. I'll show you guys in a second what we're dealing with. That's the color story. Oh, hello, that's the camera. That's the color story we are looking at, and this is beautiful. Oh my God, Samantha, like, this alone is like everything. Thank you so much. It's beautiful. I can't wait to use it. I'll have to use it in one of my get ready with me / wrap-ups. Oh my goodness, what else? Oh, I forgot about this. So she makes these cups for people who have been co-hosts on the Historical Hellions book club. And so it looks like a Starbucks cup, and it says Historical Hellions, and it's purple, which was my favorite color. Oh my God, and it comes with like a green straw for Starbucks. Adorable. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to use this cup, because I have started to drink coffee more often now that I'm in my own place. Okay, what else? Oh girl, more makeup. Oh my God. So these are, Phoebe. I've never tried this brand before. Oh, Phoebe and Chandler. Friends, I get it. I thought Phoebe was the brand. I'm an idiot. Oh, I think these are also by Revolution Beauty, but here's the Chandler one. Adorable, and it has like little chickens on the cap. And then this is Phoebe. That's a really pretty berry color, and it has little like lobsters on it. So cute. And then, oh my goodness, there's wrapped things in here. Like, y'all, I can't. Like, look at this. This is so freaking cute. Oh my goodness. Oh, blushes. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, she got me 2 blushes by the brand Buxom, which I've used their brand of like their plumping lip glosses, but she sent me one in the shade Dolly, which is like a mauve-y, like neutral, and then Seychelles, which is more of like a nude color. Like, Samantha, are you a mind reader? Because I've been thinking about getting new blushes. Like, that's really funny. Oh, and then there's 2 wrapped books. Blind date with a book, look on back. Oh my god, like this literally just gets cuter and cuter. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm gonna look at this first one. It says Christmas Romance Anthology, Classic Historical Author. Ooh, should I guess? Christmas Anthology, Classic Historical Author. Joanna Lindsay? Lisa Kleypas? Oh my god, this is beautiful. I've seen this anthology around. This is A Holiday of Love. We have Judith McNaught, Jude Devereaux, Arnett Lamb, and Jill Barnett. I have read from Jill Barnett. I have not read from the other 3 authors, but this is beautiful. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy to have this in my collection, and like I might have to read this right away because it's still the Historical Romance Readathon. And then there is one more in here. Let's read the back of this one. Another historical romance, one of my favorite authors, set in America, 1870s. I'm going to guess Beverly Jenkins. Let's see if I'm right. Oh my god. Like, this is stunning, just stunning. This is The Taming of Jessie Rose by Beverly Jenkins. Like, girl, you are spoiling me. I am so happy. Like, I have never received a care package quite like this before. Wow, Samantha, thank you so much. And I don't even think you know that my birthday is December 14th, but you just gave me like the best birthday present ever. Like, this is just so freaking sweet. And I loved the idea of like blind date with a book. Like I love that so much. Wow. So yeah, if you guys don't follow Samantha, you definitely should. I will of course link her down in the description. And yeah, with that being said, what am I going to read tomorrow for the last day of the readathon? I think tomorrow I'm gonna read Angel in a Devil's Arms by Julie Ann Long. So this is book 2 in her Palace of Rogues series. Book 1 was Lady Daring Takes a Lover. So a character that was prominently featured in that book was Angelique. She becomes best friends with Delilah, Lady Daring, who's the main character of that first book, in a very unusual and unconventional way, because basically what the whole premise of that book was about, Lady Daring's husband passes away, leaves her in a lot of debt. Then she finds out that her husband had a mistress, and that mistress was Angelique, and they somehow become friends, and they're running this boarding house together. And so at the very end of Lady Daring Takes a Lover, we see Angelique meet the hero of this story, of this book. And so I'm really excited to continue on with the series. I really enjoy Julie Ann Long's writing style. She gives me vibes kind of a little bit of Tessa Dare. So yeah, I think I'm gonna jump into that tomorrow for the last day of the readathon. This was a super long update, but it needed to be because you guys need to share in my joy. But yes, with all of that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow for one last update for this vlog. All right, hey guys, happy Sunday. Today is the last day of the Historical Romance Readathon, and I'm going to give you guys my last update for this weekly reading vlog. But first I wanted to share some bookish mail that I got today. So I saw a package on my doorstep, and I know that I didn't order anything from Amazon, and when I opened it, it was Becoming Calder by Mia Sheridan. This was a book that was on my Amazon wish list, and I looked at the note and come to find out it was Jess who bought this for me. So thank you so much, Jess. I've been really intrigued about this book and this series, and I have read 3 books by Mia Sheridan at this point. This year actually is when I discovered this author, and I loved all 3 of them. This book in particular, I remember Brie from In Love and Words talking about, she's like Mia Sheridan's biggest fan, and I totally get why. What I remember, this book is about Calder, who I believe grew up in a cult. There is a place in modern day America with no electricity, no plumbing, and no modern conveniences. In this place, there is no room for dreams, no space for self-expression, and no tolerance for ambition. In this place, there is a boy with the body of a god and the heart of a warrior. He is strong and faithful and serves his family honorably, but he dares to dream of more. That sounds so good, and it sounds like it's gonna be a romance with someone else who is in this cult. Yeah, I'm obsessed. Thank you so much, Jess. I have been dying to get more of Mia Sheridan's books on my shelves, so this was perfect. And let's talk about the final book that I read for this readathon. I am so excited to talk about this book that I haven't even done my Goodreads review yet. I just wanted to immediately come on here and gush about it. Usually I make a point of doing like a fairly detailed review on Goodreads first, and then I'll come on here and give an update. But yeah, I couldn't wait. So I started Angel in a Devil's Arms by Julie Ann Long late last night. I think I got about like 15% of the way through, and then I read the rest of it today. It's just about like 9:15 p.m. right now. And oh my God, I did not expect to love this book as much as I did. I think I said this in my last update. This is book 2 in the Palace of Rogue series. And I really enjoyed book 1, which is Lady Daring Takes a Lover. I gave that one 4 stars. So I expected this to be along the same lines, that I would just like really enjoy it and have a good time. And like, oh my God, this book like punched me in the gut, but like in the best way possible. Like, I can tell you right now that this is easily one of my favorite historical romances that I've read this year, and I just love when books surprise you like that. So like I also said in my last update, the main character in this one is Angelique, who is best friends with Delilah from book 1. This is a series that I actually would recommend reading in order, because book 1 really gives you the full context of how this boarding house that Delilah and Angelique run together, how it came to be. And there's just also a really fun found family aspect in terms of the people that come to stay at the boarding house, because the boarding house was kind of like an extended stay hotel. That's how you could think of it. And so in book 1, we learn that Angelique has had a lot of pain in her past, and she was kind of forced to become a mistress to survive. I mean, circumstances back in those days for women, if you were not in the aristocracy, like they could be very, very grim. And so then we have Lucian, our hero. He is a Viscount. He's actually a bastard son of a duke. And his past is really crazy too, because he's been believed to be dead for the past 10 years, basically. And so now he's back, and he is hell-bent on revenge against the people that tried to kill him and against his father, the Duke. What I adored about this romance was how it starts off very lighthearted and bantery. The banter is exquisite between these two characters. So good. But we see throughout the book that they slowly start to become friends, and they confide in each other about their pasts. And then they slowly start to fall for each other, and it's just like so swoony. Lucian is a new book boyfriend. He's absolutely everything. I cried so much while reading this book. If my eyes are puffy, that is why. So I'm really excited to continue on with the series at some point. There are 2 more books out now, and then I did see on Goodreads there's already a listing for the 5th book, but there's no cover or anything. It's just, I saw the title, so I have no idea when that release date is or anything. I can't recommend this series highly enough so far. Like, it's just a delight. I love Julie Ann Long's writing style. Yeah, like, I just had a really great time, but also with this one in particular, a really emotional time at the same time. Like, there were moments where I was laughing out loud, and then of course there were moments where I was just legit crying, not even tearing up, like straight up crying. And when a book can affect me that much emotionally, that's when I know it's truly an amazing read. And don't be surprised if this ends up in my top 10 historical romances of 2021 video, because in case you guys didn't know, I think I've talked about this a little bit in maybe last week's vlog or something, but I am planning on doing a bunch of different top 10 favorites of the year video. Like, I'm gonna do top 10 contemporary romances, top 10 historical romances, top 10 romance novellas, because I read so many of those this year, so they need their own video. And then I'll probably end up just doing like a top 10 books of the year, like non-romance, non-adult romances. So yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot of content coming in January. But with all of that being said, that's going to be it for this weekly reading vlog. I've also decided to vlog every week in December, so this is Vlogmas week 2. So look forward to week 3's vlog coming next week. And I would also love it if you would leave a comment down below if you want to tell me about if you participated in this readathon as well, and what your favorite read of the readathon was, or if you just read anything this week that you particularly enjoyed. I always love hearing about what you guys are reading. I would also love it if you would leave a like and subscribe, and I thank you so much in advance if you do, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!